This video is sponsored by Ewin Racing, the most comfortable #1 gaming chair that I have ever sat in. And guys, between comfort level and how this chair is going to help you throughout your day when you're content creating, when you're gaming, or just sitting on it to hang out, just to sit on it, you can always use these chairs as a little bit of comfort too if you're hanging out with friends and doing other things. But with this chair, I have the Championship Series chair, the best chair I've ever sat in, most comfortable, the leather, the thickness of what's inside the chair as well, I've sat in this thing for about almost a month, and it has not worn down at all. This thing is so comfortable, and if you have back problems, sciatica issues, stuff like that, it really helps in support of your body, too. It cuffs you really well. The 40 armrests are great, too, because you can turn them left, you can turn them right. You can actually click in the button, and they move backwards and forwards in case your arms are shorter, longer. These chairs hold up to 400 pounds, hold over people 6 feet tall, which is kind of crazy. Putting it together was even more easy. It only took me a half hour. I mean, the top of the chair to the bottom of the chair takes like 2 to 3 screws, which is really simple. Even the suspension on the back was actually pretty good. They actually loosened a couple screws and actually tells you how to put it on, and it was really that simple. I mean, it works so well. And the sturdiness of this whole entire chair, it's metal. Like the base of this chair with the wheels, it weighs a lot, and that's a good thing. This thing is not going to break down whatsoever. So it's you guys are really gonna enjoy just the comfort of sitting down. And usually I'd have to get up after an hour, but go to their store at ewinracing.com. They have all different types of chairs. These chairs are already 10% off, I think, in their store right now. But using my code, going forward, you can get 20% off this chair as well. Definitely use the discount code Joey for 20% off. Link is in the description for all that great stuff. Definitely use it. You're absolutely gonna love it. And let's get straight into the video and appreciate this partnership with Ewin Racing. Thank you so much.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope it's having a fantastic day. So I want to go over some news for the Philadelphia Eagles. A couple things I definitely want to go over, which I think is really important. There's some things cooking right now, and maybe there's some options out there for other trades. We'll see when the time comes. First of all, we had some news on Jalen Carter. I think Adam Schefter had a lot to say, maybe knows a little bit more about the situation with Jalen Carter in connection with the Philadelphia Eagles, and says that this could be a realistic match, guys. Obviously, we know that there are teams interested. He's not taking pre-draft visits out of the top 10. What's going on? So he's already met with Seattle, probably going to meet with the Raiders, has met with the Bears, and has met with the Eagles as well. This is what Adam Schefter had to say, quote unquote. I just want to read this to you guys real fast. I don't want to be a noob, but, I want to kind of go, see what you guys think of it. So this is what Adam Schefter had to say about the situation with Jalen Carter and the Philadelphia Eagles. So he said, when you talk to people around the Georgia program, they say that one guy, maybe the one guy that kept Jalen Carter really in line was Jordan Davis. When he was around Jordan Davis, he was on his best behavior. Philly would have that advantage bringing Carter to Philly and having Jordan Davis as the guy that could help out there. He's the guy in this year's draft that outside of quarterbacks is really fascinated and intrigued to see. What happens to this all-world talent and who is the one that turns in the pick on him? I'll say this. I think there's a decent chance that the Eagles are the team that has the decision to make here. So from really talking about this whole thing with Jalen Carter, as much as the outside noise, the pro day that really didn't make a lot of fans comfortable, Jordan Davis has been that guy for Jalen Carter, even at Georgia, that really kept him in good behavior. Now, I know it sounds weird. It's like, oh, so we need to have a player babysit this guy to have good behavior. But no, it's not that. I think to have a nice supporting cast around him, like I said, Nakobe Dean as well, because he played at Georgia too, could really help the situation here. Look, the Eagles, at this point, bringing in Jalen Carter on a pre-draft visit could be smokescreen, but I just don't think so. I think Howie Roseman, obviously on the pre-draft visit, probably talked to Jalen Carter and probably got to know him a lot better. But getting to know him even more between Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean probably helped the situation a lot more, which was pretty cool. I still have a really good gut feeling about this pick. I don't really care about the pro day too much. I know people are going to fight me in the comment section over it, and they don't like it. Too bad. That's what it is. I think he's the second best player in this draft. And the Eagles are on the 10th overall pick right now, and looking in, kind of saying, you know what, I would take a chance on him. And I think the Eagles like to give second chances. And obviously this is a pick you really can't mess up. This is more luxury or more of need, or best player available at that moment. To bring a talent like that here would be fantastic. So the Eagles got to be careful, obviously, but I'm not really worried too much about him. He's had a lot of stuff going on this offseason. He didn't work out the combine. He didn't do anything else when it involved, any type of workouts for his pro day. I mean, he did some pro day stuff, but it didn't really work out the way it was supposed to work out. So, people were really upset over it. 9 pounds overweight, what's wrong with him? He was cramping up. He just wasn't looking too great. So, I'm not taking too much into that because he has a lot going on. And I think it's starting to, not really dying down right now, but teams are looking out the outside noise and they're saying, big no, red flag, don't draft this man. I think Jalen Carter, I think the Eagles have a lot of interest in getting him to Philadelphia. And I'm not saying they don't care about the situation, but I think they've looked into it enough and they've talked to Carter. And obviously, who knows, probably on that pre-draft visit, maybe Jordan Davis was there. Maybe Nakobe Dean wanted to be there. Maybe just has a, hey, it would be nice for you to play with us. I think we'd have a great time here. I think it would be great. You know what I mean? So who knows what's going on with this? I know I've been blabbering about this for the past, 6.5 minutes, but I think it's really important to know, maybe Schefter knows something we don't know behind the scenes. And he talked to guys at Georgia saying that Jordan Davis was his, was his medium, was his really good friend. And, they obviously, played next to each other and did some good things. So, sometimes it only takes one person to really change somebody or to really help support them. And I think Jordan Davis will do that. Jordan Davis is the funny type. We know how he is personality-wise and probably gets along with everybody so well. So, let me know what you guys think about this situation. I know you're going to only take so much out of it, but, it is what it is. So that's the news on Jalen Carter so far. And, Philadelphia is a realistic spot for him. Now, secondly, the Devin White situation, we've kind of looked at this a little bit. Now, the news has come out. He wants $18 to $20 million a year. Oh, man, it's definitely not going to happen. You think that's going to happen? It's definitely not. Howie Roseman literally was just like, he just got up. He just left. He just left the phone call, left the room. He was done. So Devin White wants 18 to 20. He is not worth that at all. If he's looking for a new deal worth that, I'm getting up. I'm out. I'm not even touching this whatsoever. I'm not even giving them a draft pick if that's the money that he wants down the line. Now, in other linebacker news, which is interesting, and people are going to make a big deal out of it because of the name, and it's Patrick Queen, okay? Patrick Queen is available via trade. Apparently, he is available. Was he 23, 24 years old, 23 years old right now? Very young. Why is he on the trade block? Because he hasn't panned out as a linebacker. Now, I haven't been watching the Ravens like a religion, but all I could say is, he dealt with some injury last year, but he's whiffed on tackles. He hasn't been the best coverage guy. Hasn't played up to standard. I mean, Patrick Queen he hasn't panned out to be the linebacker they wanted him to be. So would trading for him be great? Sure, but what am I really giving up for him? I think he's actually, statistic-wise, he's worse than Devin White. Okay, I think he's worse, unless I'm wrong. But, I mean, I don't know. Everyone's like, let's go get it. I'm like, I'd rather have Devin White than Patrick Queen. And Patrick Queen is obviously, two players that are very young, and I think Patrick Queen is obviously the youngest, but maybe needs a new change of scenery. Maybe needs to get on a new team. Maybe he becomes more of a role playing. Maybe he needs better coaching. I don't know what it is. But what am I giving up for Patrick Queen? I don't want to give up that much. I'm giving up a 6th-round pick for him next year. Literally, that's what I'm giving up for him. I'm not giving up a 5th. I'm not giving up a 4th. I'm not giving up any picks from this year's draft. Okay? He hasn't panned out, man. He's flashed barely. I mean, he just hasn't been that linebacker that they've wanted. And like I said, I read a lot of things on him because, like I said, I haven't watched him every single year, but when you don't really hear his name in the league too much, it's not a good sign. And just hasn't played up to standard for them. So I don't know what you guys would give up, but I'm not really into this move at all. Unless they get him for dirt, unless they get him for nothing. He's a $3.2 million cap hit for the year, last year of his deal. So obviously this is a Howie type move. One more year out left on his contract. Have Patrick Queen come in and compete, but I would lower that. I would even lower that cap number at $3.2 million because I don't even think he's worth a cap hit of even that much, to be honest with you. I just don't. You know what I mean? Devin White, I'd probably feel more comfortable with. I don't know, because I feel like I've seen more than what Patrick Queen has done in the 3 years he's been here, going into his fourth year now, last year of his deal. And, the Ravens probably just want to move on or try to get something for him. So he could be a draft day trade. He could be, maybe during the draft they could trade some picks. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens here, but everyone's drooling over the mouth, for Patrick Queen, and I don't get it. Is there upside? Is it too late? I'm not sure, but I guess we'll just find out when the time comes. So I'm not really a big fan of it, but if I'm getting him for like a 6th-round pick. Like I'm not even kidding. Like that's all I'm giving up. I'm not giving up anything higher because he hasn't produced as much as I wanted him to. So that's the stuff on Patrick Queen as of right now. Lastly on the list for pre-draft visits, so Mazi Smith, obviously the defensive tackle from Michigan, he's met up with a lot of teams. Eagles are definitely one of them. Okay, now Michigan was top 20 in the country, for a few years and against the run. And Mazi Smith was a big part of it. Problem with him, he's just a run stuffer. I'm not trying to get another run stuffer in the first round. I think maybe this is a guy the Eagles are looking for the future. Maybe somewhere down the line, 3rd, 4th round. I don't know. Unless he drops, I don't think Mazi Smith will even be drafted by the Eagles unless he really drops a lot. He's got a weapon. He pled guilty to a weapon charge, apparently. I mean, he's got that on his record right now. He's got 6 tackles for loss, a half sack, I think, in 3 seasons, which isn't great. That's pretty bad, actually. But even though, he's a run stuffer. Yeah, he's a run stuffer, but he should have more than a half sack. I mean, in 3 seasons, he should have a little bit more than that. But, as a pure run stuffer, he's aggressive. He's got that first bit of quickness. He's got short arms. You know what I mean? I think that's the one problem, too. These D tackles that have short arms that, has been a really good run stuffer. That's why his statistics don't really pop out too much because he's not a pass rusher at all. So, I mean, as a pre-draft visit, this is something I'd see down the line. If he drops tremendously, I don't see this being a high draft pick at all. There's other positions the Eagles probably want to draft. Could be running back, tight end, backup tight end. Could be obviously defensive tackle, maybe an extra defensive end. I mean, there maybe an extra linebacker. Who knows? DT right now as a run stuffer. I mean, we already drafted our run stuffer last year. You know what I mean? So unless he drops to the 3rd, 4th round, if the Eagles can get a mid-round pick, which they don't have right now, and they want to draft him, I'm perfectly fine with it. But to be that complimentary piece next to Jordan Davis, obviously Mazi Smith is not going to be the guy. It's just not. So I don't know if that gun charge has any effect on where he's drafted. I don't know what he was supposed to be. I don't really know all the information on Mazi Smith, so you guys will probably have to tell me a little bit more about it, about that gun charge. That's what I read. I'm not insinuating. That's what I read. He has a gun. He pled guilty to a gun charge. So I don't know when it happened. No idea. And obviously the statistics don't really pop out as well because he's, like I said, he's not a pass rusher. So this is like just let's see what they, if he drops, he's one of those drop down, drop back in the draft type candidates. If he drops, the Eagles might take him later on. And that's really it. That's all I really could say about the Mazi Smith stuff in general. So that is the news for the Philadelphia Eagles. We talked about Patrick Queen, Devin White. When the Eagles trade for one of those guys, Devin White wanting a lot more money, and Mazi Smith, all the news on him, and the Eagles have brought him in on a pre-draft type visit as well, and a lot of other teams have a good amount of interest in him, and I think will be a player that might drop a little further than expected because I'm not interested to draft a run stuffer early. I'm just not this year. We already did that last year with Jordan Davis, and that's enough for me right now. Tili Talu, whatever his name is from USC that we have as well. He's another run stuffer on our team, and if he stays healthy, he actually played pretty well. But no really promise on that right now. So to find that complimentary piece next to Jordan Davis, I don't think it's going to be him. And obviously it's not going to be at 10 or 30. This would be way down the line of the draft. This is more of a depth piece for the Philadelphia Eagles if he could work out really nicely. So other than that, let me know what you guys think about all this information. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the stream, like the video if you guys have it, and check out obviously the Philly Shakedown merch in the description below. Pre-order your pre-orders now. So all right, you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.